Hello everybody, this video is for me to show you my train related stuff that I got for Christmas of 2012, and I know I said that I canceled the update video used to do, and I know, it's just I've acquired so much train stuff recently and I just don't have time to explain everything. So here's the compromise I worked out. I'm going to do these videos at least twice a year. Primarily only just Christmas stuff, the train stuff that I got for Christmas, as well as the train stuff that I got for my birthday. I can't guarantee that I'll get train stuff every Christmas or every birthday, but just if I do, I'll be sure that I show it to you. And the other possible time of the year that I'd show you an update video, an upload one, would be if I was to win a competition or sweepstakes that was train related. I'll be sure to make a video of me showing the prizes and other things related to that. But yeah, I'm sorry if some of you were disappointed by this, but it's just I don't really have the time for it. With that in mind, I'll definitely show you the stuff that I got for Christmas of 2012. In fact, the first item that you're seeing right now is this New York Central hat. New York Central is my favorite pre-Amtrak era railroad that ran east of the Mississippi. And they were very famous, very iconic, and pretty much everybody has seen something that was New York Central related. And I went with the original oval logo instead of the cigar band, because I think this is the more classic New York Central logo. Alright, and so the second item, which you're probably seeing right now in this shot, but I'll expand it for you, is this Norfolk Southern Heritage Unit sweatshirt. This is the Northern Heritage version, and I went with this one not only because I'm from the North, but also because there's just more locomotives on this one than on the Southern Heritage sweatshirt. So I went with this Northern one instead, and I'm glad that I did. And also I needed another train sweatshirt anyway. So I got that now, and I'm happy with that. 2012 was Norfolk Southern's 30th year, so definitely a good time for them to unveil the Heritage units and to come out with the merchandise and everything else along with it. So let's move on. I got this Santa Fe EMD FP7 diesel locomotive. This is an N-scale display piece right here. You could actually unscrew the screw in the bottom here and take the locomotive off and put it on a piece of N-scale track if it was like on a layout or something. But I don't collect N-scale for layout purposes. I just got this for as a display piece like it's meant to be. So that's that. The next item that I got is this DVD from Pentrex. It's called Monon. She's a Hoosier line. I haven't started watching it yet. I did take the plastic wrap off, but I haven't started watching it yet. It's about the Monon Railroad, and for those of you who don't know what the Monon Railroad was, this railroad ran primarily in Indiana. And in fact, I believe they served exclusively in Indiana, except they did have extensions to Chicago and Louisville. And those are that's just right across the border from Indiana anyway, in those cities. So they were primarily known as an Indiana railroad. And they had the distinction of being the first American steam railroad, if you will, to be completely dieselized. They were completely dieselized by 1949, and so that's one thing that the Monon Railroad has as a distinction to them. And some of the Monon semaphore signals on the former Monon lines in Indiana still exist on the lines that CSX and Amtrak use, and that they're still functional. But anyway, that's this is the DVD that I got. One of the DVDs that I got. The second one that I got is this Union Pacific Classic Collectors Series by Pentrex. This consists of locomotives such as Challengers and Big Boys, even some turbines in here, gas turbines. And it also features the famous Union Pacific hotspots like Sherman Hill and the Wasatch Mountains. Again, I haven't started watching this one yet. It's still in the plastic wrap, as you can see. But 2012 was also another great year for American railroading, being the year of Union Pacific's 150th year. So, again, that's pretty special, and pretty interesting that I got this for Christmas as well. So, that's that, and now I will show you the Train Simulator 2013 add-on I got for Christmas in 2012. So that's you now. Okay, so for Christmas of 2012, I received the Fort Kent to Eagle Lake route for Train Simulator 2013. This is a branch line style route that's in northern Maine. It's in extreme northern Maine. In fact, the town of Fort Kent is right across the river from Canada. And I use on this route a Canadian National SW1500 for my motive power on it, because that type of locomotive is ideal for a route like this. Nice small engine, and it can be useful in both yards and on the line as well. And I've had a lot of fun with this route in the free roam mode, where you can switch from locomotive to locomotive and get some jobs done in any order you like. Now, the activities use the Union Pacific SD40-2 from Cajon Pass, and that's because it was just defaulted in. But I'm using the Canadian National SW1500 from the SW1500 add-on because I feel that's probably the most appropriate choice of a locomotive so far that's available on Steam for Train Simulator 2013. So that's why I use the locomotive on this route. It is sold separately, though, if you wanted it for yourself. So yeah, you're not going to get the SW1500 right out of the package. But if you were to have the SW1500 add-on, this would be a good route for the Canadian National version. It's a really interesting route, and it's mostly a freight route, but it has 2 passenger stations on it, though, at each end of the line. And from what I understand is that the line is, for the most part, it's abandoned. I don't know how often a train comes through there, but it's not much. And this route in Train Simulator 2013 is more of a what-if style route. What if the industry in this area of the country was thriving again? Well, it would probably look a little something like this. And that's the good part about Train Simulator 2013's version of this route, is that there's more activity and more life to it than in real life. Now, a couple downsides about this route are that a lot of the trees are two-dimensional. You don't really notice that when you're in the cab of your train, but if you're looking from a helicopter view down onto the ground, you pretty much will see that the trees are completely flat. And another thing is that some of the buildings along the line, some of the new buildings and new automobiles and other custom objects for this route are carryovers from Microsoft Train Simulator, because this route was developed by All Aboard, and they've been making routes since the MSTS days, and so I can recognize that some of the buildings are just simple carryovers to Train Simulator 2013. So that's a little cheap right there, but from a distance it doesn't look too bad. So this route's actually pretty interesting and contemporary in the sense that you can use locomotives from various eras and railroads to recreate a scene of railroading in a particular era or area. And it's a pretty interesting route because I don't really have a branch line style American route, and this is certainly my first. And it's quite a treat, and it uses 3D Trains' scale rail, which I believe is the same track texture that they used on Sherman Hill. And that's some really good track texture right there. I think that's the best American track texture I've seen so far, with its T-rail rails and its rendered ties. It looks really lifelike that way. And yes, I'd say that it's quite a fun route if you want to have a route that is for free roaming, especially. I like to use career mode scenarios more, but I did free roam in this case because I wanted to go up and down the line and switch freight cars into certain sidings and yards. And so that was actually an interesting concept right there. It's definitely a route for that kind of stuff, and you'll have a lot of fun with that for free roaming. And so it's an interesting route, and I'm actually kind of glad I got it for Christmas. So the route came out about 3 years ago almost, and now I have it, and so it's a done deal, and I'll be using it more often in the future. So anyway, we'll continue on to the model train segment of this, where we will see the diesel locomotive that I got for Christmas. So we'll check that out. Okay, so here's the diesel locomotive that I got for Christmas, and yes, it's the Southern Pacific Heritage Unit. It's an SD70 ACE. It is made by MCH in their HO line, and it's a great locomotive. I basically have the same thing to say about it as I did with the Chicago Northwestern Heritage Unit, so all the pros and cons about this unit are the same as that one and the Denver and Rio Grande Heritage Unit. So that's all I really have to say about that, and now I'll start it up. So there you have it. That's what I got for Christmas in 2012. And thank you. I'll see you soon.